Good afternoon. How you doing?
As usual,
Oh, I like your mood today. I like your mood. You feeling good, right?
Yes.
All right. You're welcome to Hello Doc segment here on the drive. Today the conversation is going to be around sleep hygiene. Earlier on, I was thinking that it's when you don't bath and then you sleep. That's where we're talking hygiene. But they say, nah, that's not what we're going to talk about. Because for me, I like to bath before I sleep, though. I like to take my bath in the evening.
Well, it's actually a good hygiene practice for sleep.
Okay, so that's part of it.
It is.
All right, but generally, when we say sleep hygiene, what does it mean?
Okay, so generally, when we say hygiene, we are talking about your practices that you do to preserve your health or to prevent infection, prevent illness.
Okay.
So that's hygiene. So when we talk about sleep hygiene, we're talking about your practices that you do to get a good quality night's sleep. Not just having long enough, but the quality of the sleep should also be very good. Yeah, so that's what you do with the sleep hygiene.
Okay. Let's first establish how many hours of sleep should one be getting. I'll tell you what, generally I've heard 8 hours. I've heard some motivational speakers say that, how can you don't have money and you are sleeping for 10 hours, you are sleeping for 8 hours. Me, the most I sleep is 4 hours. You know, people throw all sort of stuff around. What is the ideal hours that an adult, or I don't know if you break it down to different age groups, should be having per night?
So let me just say something later about sleep.
Okay.
So sleep is important. It's not just because of rest, but it's important for the brain because that's the time that the brain actually processes information.
Okay.
Helps you solidify your memories. So if you are being forgetful a lot, probably you're not sleeping well. Okay. So, and it clears out waste from the brain and also helps the body. It builds muscle. The muscles and tissues grow during sleep. Yeah, and then you repair your injured tissues during sleep, and it boosts your immune system whilst you are asleep. So sleeping is very, very important. Yeah. So the important thing to know is there isn't really like a set in stone number of hours. But from statistics, when they've interviewed a lot of people and they see the average, they say adults should be between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And then children and teenagers will usually take more hours of sleep, and then probably the elderly people would take lesser hours of sleep. So if you say adding to 9 hours, there may be
children are doing like 10 hours?
8 to 10 hours, yes, and then the older people are probably doing maybe 6 to 8 hours. Yeah, so it varies, but the important thing is that when you sleep, you feel well rested by the time you wake up. Yes, and you feel alert.
Let me ask this question, because usually we're sleeping in the night, but we also know that some people work during the night and then they sleep during the day. Does it matter when you get your sleep, like a night or day thing?
It does. It does. So from studies that people have done, it really does. I don't know if it's the sunlight or I'm not really sure, but it really does. And people who sleep during the day and work at night actually have a lower quality of sleep generally. So as much as possible, if you can sleep at night rather than
the day.
But if you have no option,
for economic reasons, you might not have an option and you just have to sleep during the day and you work at night. Now, let's look at how we're able to establish a consistent sleep schedule and why that is even important.
Okay, so the body has what we call an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. You know, you like to be predictable. You like to know what is going to happen. You like to know when I get here, by this time I do this and that. The body likes that too. So the body has a rhythm. So it follows a kind of routine. Yeah, so that's the circadian rhythm. So it has a time where your body will feel alert and there's a time your body will feel sleepy. And that's based on maybe your behaviors and activities consistently. So you have to maintain a certain consistency to get that, because based on the circadian rhythm, the body produces hormones that will make you sleepy and then give you a good quality of sleep. One of those is melatonin hormone. So it helps to sleep. So the body needs to know what is going on. So if you are erratic with your sleep schedule, it affects the quality of your sleep. So you should always have a set time to wake up and a set time to sleep, even on weekends.
Some of us weekends we want to sleep at like 10. Whilst during the week, maybe we're sleeping to like 5 a.m. or 5:30 thereabouts.
Yes, so probably you might be able to sleep in, but the time you go to bed should be as much as possible consistent. If you sleep at 9 p.m., every day, then sleep 9 p.m. every day. Avoid taking naps later in the day. If you take a nap, take in the afternoon.
Are we now talking about the hygiene practices?
No. Okay. I'm talking about the
consistent sleep schedule.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are taking naps, so you take naps not too close to bedtime.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will affect your ability to sleep at the same time that you want to. So you take a nap early on in the day, or if you always take naps, the naps should be around the same time every day. So the body is used to the system that you are going with it.
Okay. Now, let's now come to the hygiene practices, right? So let's look at some common sleep hygiene practices that can actually improve the quality of sleep for an individual.
So there's one I want to say. Some of these hygiene practices, they seem very simple, but the effect can be very dramatic if you are consistent with it. Yes. So something like having a cool, dark, quiet room is very important.
Cool, dark, quiet room.
Yes.
Some of us would like to sleep with the TV on or the radio on.
No, it affects the quality of your sleep.
I used to like to sleep with the lights on. Not anymore. Okay. Maybe because I'm growing, I don't know. But I used to like to sleep with the lights on. Not for any reason, but I just would leave the lights on.
Some of us used to be scared of the dark, so we always have to have a little bit of
cool, dark, quiet room.
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very important. You should also invest in your beddings, a nice bed sheet. If you can get a comforter, something that will be very soft for you to lie down on. It's very important.
So those times that we were sleeping on the cow's food, you know, the cow's food, we were sleeping on the mats made of I don't know if it was hay or straw or whatever. We were not having quality sleep. Okay, so your beddings.
Yes, it can really improve your sleep.
Okay.
You can use, if you can't switch off the lights or you can't close the curtains, you can have those sleep mats, the black material that they just use
cover
over the eyes. Yeah. And then avoid heavy meals. You don't go and eat banku fufu 1 hour or 30 minutes before you go to bed. No.
Yeah, I know somebody, she will eat banku at 11. Then she will immediately after go to sleep.
And then avoid caffeine and alcohol close to bedtime. At least give some 4 hours interval between the alcohol and whatever before you sleep. Then regular exercise also helps to improve your sleep. But don't exercise like vigorous exercise just before sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't go to the gym and then from the gym then you're coming straight to bed. It would affect your sleep level, your sleep quality. And also train your brain to associate sleep with the bed. Okay. So don't put always you are studying on the bed, watching movies on the bed, doing assignments on the bed and all that. The body won't be able to
associate sleep with it.
Yes.
You associate other activities.
Yes. So it will be difficult to just relax. But if you are doing everything else somewhere else and then the bed is only for sleep, it will surprise you. You'll be doing it for a couple of weeks.
No, it's actually surprising to think about it, because there are times I'm not able to sleep on the bed. I will move to the hall, to the sofa, and I'm able to sleep. I don't know.
It's a psychological thing. Yes. So once you train your brain, and always bed means sleep.
Okay.
Before you realize, after a couple of weeks of doing it, you lie down in the bed, you just fall asleep straight away.
Okay.
So it's very helpful. You can listen to calm music, but don't leave the TV or the radio on. Sometimes before you realize, the radio just start blasting something unexpectedly. Yeah. So please, as much as possible, just put TV, radio off, and then scrolling on your phones. It prevents sleep actually, because it's the screens emit a blue light which is similar to sunlight, and it would tell your brain that it's daytime. So when it does that, then the brain doesn't produce the hormone melatonin that will let you fall asleep easily. So avoid screens and those kind of social media scrolling late at night.
Today, the things you are talking about. That's why I'm sure that's why I'm not able to have that much sleep.
So you can try it.
Yeah.
You see, it works.
Okay. Let's look at some factors that can negatively impact sleep quality.
Yes. So definitely stress and anxiety. If you're having maybe some problems, some stresses in life, financial issues and other things.
The finance, when the money no day.
Yeah, so you're having a lot of thoughts, thinking so much, that could affect your sleep. As I mentioned, the blue light from electronic devices also affects sleep. If you are in an uncomfortable environment, the room is hot, the area is noisy, they are playing music at the bar next to your house, and you are not, it all affects your ability to sleep.
Okay.
Irregular sleep schedules. Today you sleep at 5 p.m., the next day you sleep at 11 p.m. It affects the sleep. And then medical conditions also affect sleep. So we have sleep apnea, where the breathing keeps stopping intermittently whilst you are sleeping. Sometimes chronic pain also causes you to not be able to sleep, and sometimes hormonal changes. So especially the ladies going through menopause and those kind of things, it affects their ability to sleep. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that we should, like some of the activities, shouldn't do like heavy gymming before sleep. Can we walk through other activities that we should avoid before bedtime, and if there are any reasons why we should avoid those?
Yes. Okay. So I've mentioned the screens already. Eating heavy or spicy meals in the evening. Sometimes it even causes indigestion and heartburn, because from upright you are just lying down. So that can also affect it. Drinking a lot of water close to bedtime. That means you'll be waking up in the middle of the night to urinate, and that waking up in between the sleep also affects the quality of the sleep.
Okay.
So avoid drinking too much water close to bedtime. And then caffeine can stay in the system for 6 to 8 hours. So as much as possible, we are taking coffee or even those caffeinated drinks, soda, Coca-Cola, even tea, normal tea leaf that people drink.
Yeah.
It has caffeine in it, and it can affect. So at least 6 to 8 hours before your bedtime crash should be the last time you take anything containing caffeine if you want a very good sleep.
Okay. Because you mentioned caffeine, let's look at diet then and its impact on sleep quality. Are there any specific foods that can promote or disrupt sleep?
Okay, so I mentioned caffeine. Alcohol, you think alcohol will help you sleep because it makes you feel a little drowsy, but the thing is that it affects the sleep cycles. Yes, so going from one cycle to another cycle, I don't want to go into that. We'll talk about that another time. Okay, but it makes the quality of the sleep very poor. So you would drink alcohol and you think you've slept, but then you wake up and then you are still feeling tired. You are still feeling like low energy levels. Yeah. So alcohol, don't think that alcohol will help you sleep. It's actually, it makes you drowsy, but then the sleep quality.
So when we are stressed, right? When we're going through some stress and then we want to try some small alcohol to cut our stress so that we can sleep, you are saying that doesn't work.
It doesn't give you the best quality sleep.
Okay. So you can actually sleep because maybe you're drowsy and all that, but the quality of sleep that you need, you will not get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the foods that can help, proteins like milk, and then they said turkey also has this kind of protein, tryptophan in it, that helps.
Turkey?
Yes.
Oh, I like turkey.
Yeah, so and we have things like bananas, granules, and then complex carbohydrates like oats.
Okay.
And then whole grains. They can help with your sleep. So if you're having maybe you're feeling hungry late at night, you don't want to eat something heavy, you can take some oats, you can take some banana and granules, those kind of things. Oats with milk and just some whole grain, small slice of bread, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but don't go and eat fufu.
Don't eat plenty. Moderation is the watchword there. Don't eat plenty of that as well. And then the fufu and bankudi, no. Those who do that, no. They have a problem. Okay. Let's wrap up with common sleep disorders. How they can be diagnosed and then treated. Okay,
so the most common one is insomnia. That's when they have the difficulty in fall. Is either initial insomnia or intermittent insomnia. So there's one that they have difficulty in falling asleep. So they will lie in bed and wait for like 2-3 hours before they finally fall asleep.
My own is insomnia.
Yeah.
I can lie in bed for 3 hours
and
I'll still not fall asleep.
Yes. And then there's intermittent insomnia. They will fall asleep easily, but then after like 1 hour they wake up, then they fall asleep, then they wake up. So it affects the quality of the sleep. So they are very tired even though they probably slept for a number of hours. Yeah, so it can even be a combination of both, difficulty in falling asleep and intermittent. So it's, but even with the sleep hygiene, you can even use those practices to help improve your insomnia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also sleep apnea, as I mentioned. Your breathing keeps cutting off repeatedly during sleep. So
can that lead to death if you're not breathing when you're sleeping, or it's not that serious?
Oh, it is serious. But it's not very often that people die in their sleep. But yes, it can cause death.
Okay.
But it's not that often that it happens.
Okay.
Usually people snore very, very loudly a lot. That's the most common symptom. And then sometimes too they... okay, let me just hold on with that. Sometimes obesity is also associated with the sleep apnea as well. So sometimes losing weight can also help
sleep better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And then there's restless leg syndrome. You know, there's some people who sit down and they keep shaking their leg and those kind of things. Yeah, so that happens in the night to certain people, and then that can affect the quality of sleep. So you are lying down and you just have to move your leg, or even sometimes it's your arm. You have to move your arm here and there. Yeah, so that's also a cause of sleep problems. That sometimes is a side effect of certain medications, certain antidepressants, certain allergy medications, some for antiemetic to prevent vomiting. Yes, but sometimes too it's just in the family. Sometimes too it's some disease conditions. Sometimes people with rheumatoid arthritis have it, diabetes, and then pregnancy, late pregnancy too, they also have that a lot. The restless leg syndrome.
Okay. Doc, I have to come and see you. No. The things you are talking about, the symptoms in it, I have all of it too. But the thing that causes, that one, I'm not too sure. But let me ask you a final question, because I had that personal challenge growing up. I used to, I'm talking about sleep positions, right? How you sleep, whether it has any effect. I used to like sleeping like how a corpse is laid in state, right? So like I'll sleep on my back and I'll put my hands across my chest like that. And I remember even my wife used to complain. But these days when I sleep like that, I can't sleep. So I'd rather sleep face down. Does it have any effect how you sleep, whether you're lying on your back, your side, or your tummy? Does it have any effect there as well?
It depends on which specific position. There are some positions that affect your spine and they would cause pain.
Okay.
Yes. So it depends on your specific position of sleeping. But lying on your back should be fine. Lying on your side, sometimes not the best. But most people, they move around in their sleep. They don't just stay in one position. So it's not really that much of a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
But one last thing I want to say is the sleep issue, you can just gradually change your sleep practice, your sleep hygiene practice. You don't have to do everything in one day, but gradually change one thing at a time, and you would see a lot of improvements. And please invest in your sleep, because it's also very important for your mental health. It affects your academics and all other things that you would want to do, your memory and all that. So invest in getting a good quality sleep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Doc. Like I said, I'll book a session because I need therapy. But today we looked at sleep hygiene on our Hello Doc segment. We were joined by Dr. Emefa Dzide from the Wejagbawe Municipal Hospital as she walked us through. I hope that you've gotten something and you start putting them into practice so you can improve your quality